Good morning, and for those of you who follow my channel, you'll know that I will be building a new PC, and the person I'm building the new PC for is my lad, who's my trusty helper today. So say hello.
Hello.
And basically what we're doing is he's going to secondary school later in the year, so we decided that we would build a PC for him. And what I'm going to do today is go through the parts and also give the rationale for the reason for the parts we've actually chosen. So first things first, we're going to start with the case. And that, if I can get it on the table, is the NCXT H510i. And it says Premium Compact MIDI Tower ATX case. Now, let me see, put myself on camera again. I was going to go for a mini ITX build, but there were problems getting the parts. I don't know if you realise there's a thing going on in the world that's causing all sorts of problems. And it was actually causing me some problems with getting some of the parts I wanted. And it was going to take a while to get some of the parts I wanted. So I decided to go for a full size build. And so this is the case we're going for. Now, this has some basic RGB lighting in it. It has a side panel. It comes with a couple of fans, and it should have ample space for the build we want to build. And you can see on the side here, it's purple. And I think my lad likes purple, so we might have to go for a purple case.
I like dark purple and I also like red.
So anyway, that's the case. What are we going for the main board? Well, the main board is the Tough Gaming X570 Plus, and it comes with Wi-Fi. Now, I went for the Wi-Fi version because upstairs in the room where my lad is, and this is going to be, we haven't actually got an Ethernet connection, so it's going to have to be Wi-Fi. So we're going to have to sort out the Wi-Fi up there as well, because it's a bit of a weak signal at the moment. But that's why I went for this board. The other reason for going for this board was, of the 570 boards out there, it seemed to be pretty much the best bang for the buck. So you guys might disagree with me, you might have a better solution or a better choice, but this looked like the best solution that I could find. The other thing as well is I did consider going for a B450 board, and they are a bit cheaper, or quite a considerable bit cheaper. But what I thought with this was it would give me some extra, what's the word I'm looking for? Future-proofing, if you like. It would give us some extra future-proofing. So as we move on down the line, we'll be able to upgrade the CPU, and I'll get to the CPU in a minute. This will be able to take right up to the top-end CPUs. So the 3950X, this should be able to run it perfectly well. I'm sure you could do it with a B450, but it's not going to give you all the bells and whistles. So that was the rationale behind the board. Drop the board there. As regards the CPU, well, you dropped your graphics card the other day. As regards the CPU, we've got the AMD Ryzen 5 3600. Now, this is pretty much the entry level of the Ryzens, you know, if you're going for a discrete CPU without graphics on board. And again, what I like about this is it gives us an upgrade path. So we were obviously looking to build to a price because, well, whenever you do a build, you should build to a price, because otherwise you could end up spending stupid amounts of money. And I think the overall cost of this, close your ears, was around about £800. So we wanted to keep it to around about £800. We didn't want to spend any more than that. Now, as I say, this is a 6-core, 12-thread CPU. And it should be absolutely perfect for what my lad wants to use it for schoolwork and for gaming and for everything he should want. And then, as I say, with the board, this one here again, we've got plenty of upgrade potential. So those were the rationale behind all that stuff.
Oh, and also, fun fact, that's better than my dad's.
It's got more cores and more threads than my CPU. My PC needs upgrading. But I'm doing my lads first, because I'm nice like that.
Yay!
So then, moving on from the main board and CPU, we've got memory. And where's that? RAM. So I went for some fairly basic Corsair Vengeance DDR4 3200 megahertz. So it's good memory, but it hasn't got all the bells and whistles of things like RGB lighting and stuff like that. We've gone for two 8 gig because I think 16 gig will be perfectly adequate, but the board has 4 slots on board. So if I want to upgrade it to 32 gig later on, we can just add 2 more slots in. So that was the rationale behind that one. For the hard drive, we've gone for a Crucial P1, and it's an NVMe M2 solid state drive. So it's a diddly little thing, 1 terabyte. My lad, you moaned at me and said it's not big enough, but I think 1 terabyte's absolutely adequate for a first build, and we can always add another NVMe or even a standard hard drive later on down the line. I think this should be perfectly adequate for schoolwork and the games that you want. I don't think you'll need any more, certainly not for the first 6 months to a year, and it's easy enough to buy another one down the line.
The reason I didn't think it was going to be like big enough is because my Xbox upstairs is only 1 terabyte, and that's basically filled up, and I have to keep deleting stuff to get new stuff. So
yeah, well, that's a bit different because there's a lot more on there than you're going to have on the PC, hopefully. But anyway, as I say, we can always add more at a later date. So then, graphics card. The graphics card is another tough, Asus tough brand, and again, really the reason for going for this was it looked like good bang for the buck. It's a GeForce GTX 1660 Super. This should be perfectly good for 1080p gaming at 60 frames per second. May even be able to get 1440p at 60 frames per second out of it with some games. So that's perfectly good there.
games like Roblox.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, even Fortnite, you may be able to play it in 1440 at 60 FPS. We can look into it, turn some of the settings down a bit, maybe able to get 1440 out of it. But this at the moment is pretty much the best bang for the buck graphics card in that price range. I think we paid around about 200 for this. I think that's what we paid for it. But again, we can use this for now, and then later on down the line, we could upgrade the graphics card. You wouldn't have to do much else, and you get a better PC just by changing the graphics card. So again, that's the rationale behind that. And then power supply. I like Corsair power supplies. I've got a Corsair power supply in my PC. This is one area where my PC is better than my lad's, because this is a CX550 and I've got an 850 in mine. I wanted the future proofing in mine. I want to be able to put in a lot more power later on down the line. But this should be perfectly adequate for what we need. In fact, there should be plenty of overhead. When I looked into it and I was looking at how much the power draw on the motherboard, CPU, graphics card were, this is going to handle it perfectly well. So it's not a modular supply. It's fully wired. So I'm going to have to hide some of the cables in the case, but that shouldn't be a problem with the case. The case, you can actually run the cables in pretty well, so that should be good. So that 550 watt power supply, it's a bronze rated. So yeah, 80 plus bronze. So that should do the job more than adequately. So that's that.
Just saying, guys, I have no idea what that means.
Well, this is the thing. The electrics go into the power supply, and the power supply supplies all the power to all the different components within the system. So that's that. Well, I was going to say last thing, but there's a couple of things after this. But this is the last of the major components. And this
is what I like to call Mr. Hefty.
Is the monitor. You see me over there, I'm going to do a Chad. There you go. It's a 27-inch monitor, IPS panel, and it goes up to 1440 at 144 hertz. Now, obviously, the graphics card we've currently got isn't going to drive that. But again, I'm looking at upgrade path, and I'm thinking down the line, we can put in a more powerful graphics card. We can start running 1440p, 144 hertz. It's going to have to be a pretty hefty graphics card upgrade to do that, but this does give us an upgrade path.
That's why I like to call it Mr. Hefty.
And for now, as I say, it's an Acer. It's the, trying to remember which one it is, the Nitro VG1 series, it says, and It's the VG271U, and then it's PBMIIPX. Now, I did look at other monitors, and again, we're in a situation at the moment where a lot of monitors aren't in stock. It's very difficult to get parts. The other thing I was finding was that things were going up as I was looking at them. So I'd look at them and one day they'd go up 20 quid the next day. Some of the parts were going up, so that was causing problems. So I went for this one because it seemed to offer everything we needed, and we'll let you know down the line if it's any good or not. But it looked like a decent monitor. And as I say, we can run it at 1080p and 60 Hertz for the time being. And it does give us that upgrade path.
I mean, to be honest, I'm probably mainly going to be playing Roblox, so I beat this perfectly.
Oh, in that case, I'd better have it then if you're only going to play high.
No, I'll play other games. It's like Roblox is like the game, like because you can play so many things on PC on Roblox. Like everything's available on PC except for like the people who make Phantom Forces have made the mobile-only game, which is called Mercenary Simulator. Really like it. No one really plays it anymore though, so...
Yeah. Well, you can play Fortnite on there. It will play most modern games. It will play at 1080p and it will absolutely destroy them, so it shouldn't be a problem. But it also, like I say, with that CPU, gives you plenty of options for your schoolwork. Right, so last but not least, keyboard and mouse. Now, we actually dropped on with the mouse because it's a Tough Gaming M5, and that actually was a freebie that came with the graphics card. So when we ordered the graphics card, we got the mouse with it. And I looked at the mouse and I thought, well, I'm not buying another one because this is a perfectly good gaming mouse. So yeah, we dropped on with that.
I don't think we're sponsored by Tough Gaming. We're not.
We're not sponsored by anyone. If anyone wants to sponsor us,
yeah, sure.
but for now, no, we haven't got any sponsorships. The keyboard is a Corsair. Now, I like Corsair keyboards. I've got a Corsair keyboard myself, and I've actually got the Corsair K63 wireless keyboard, which I was playing with the Xbox with the keyboard and mouse support, which I need to make a video about that because keyboard and mouse support on the Xbox is pretty woeful, to be honest, and you need to save your money, really. But this is for my lad's PC, and I wanted to get something that would be good for typing on because I want to teach him to touch type. So, as I say, I've got the K63 wireless, and this is the K63. Now, as you might have noticed, this is in a plain case. Now, the reason this is in a plain case is because it was a refurb, and being that it was a refurb, I think I got it for about 25 quid less than it would have been otherwise. So I thought it was a good deal. I'll let you know if it didn't work, then obviously we'll have to send it back. But I think it was 40 quid, maybe 50 quid, something like that. Wasn't expensive for what you're getting. It's got Cherry MX switches, very nice to type on.
I guess that's good.
Yeah, Cherry MX Red, this one. And I'm not going to get it all the way out with the K. Well, I might do actually. There's the. Let's get this out. There you go. Let's put that down there. USB, standard USB. And as I say, it's a Corsair. Now, you may have noticed it doesn't have the number keys on the end. Now, I think for a gaming keyboard, you're not going to need the number keys on the end. I've actually got them on mine and I never use them. So I thought for my lad, if he's going to be typing on it, it's perfect for typing. Lovely, lovely action for typing. But also, because you haven't got this on the end here, you haven't got the number pad, you can have your mouse here. So it's a lot closer together. So for gaming, it's actually better. So yeah, lovely keyboard. It's got the little drop downs here so you can put it up a little bit. Doesn't come with a wrist rest, which I was a bit disappointed in, but to be honest, I was looking at my wrist rest and I put my hands like that and I don't actually touch the wrist rest at all. So do you need it? I don't know.
Wrist rest either on yours whenever I used to use it. Because I kind of go like this.
Yeah, your hands go over the top.
I go like that.
Yeah. So anyway, as you said earlier, you like red. And this is a red backlit keyboard. So yeah, that should go very well. And for the price, I thought we got a bit of a bargain, to be honest. So yeah, that's all the parts. Hopefully we'll do another one that will talk a little bit about the build, although I don't think we're in a position here to actually do a full build video because we haven't really got the space. But we will put it together and we will hopefully show you guys what it's like when it's up and running. So look forward to that one. But for now, I'm done. I'm going to go and get a cup of tea. I think you're done as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go get a cookie and a hot chocolate.
Are you indeed?
Don't forget to subscribe to Dark Zone Diamonds.
And don't forget to give this one a thumbs up if you like this one, and subscribe and all the usual stuff. You know what to do. Obviously YouTube aren't helping small YouTubers get subscriptions, they're not helping us get views, so if you can help us out, please do so. And I will put a list of the components in the description, so if you're interested in any of these components, you can click on the description. Now some of them may be affiliate links, and if they are, that'll give me a tiny kickback. It's pennies, to be honest, but it won't cost you anything more, so you'll be helping out the channel, help us make more videos and all the rest of it. But yeah, as I say, for now, that's us done. See you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.